Brett, Monday sort of puts everything on the line, you know where everything stands. It's 4 games, but do you feel you can still make it?
I think what we feel at the moment is the odds are definitely stacked against us, but that's been the case since a 0-5 start. So I don't expect anything to change in terms of our attitude or our intensity, particularly this week. We get another finals contender as an opponent, so around that I don't see anything changes. We do acknowledge that it's going to be really tough and so many things need to fall our way and all the rest of it, but in terms of this week there won't be any change.
So if there's no change in approach, what needs to change on the field to get the results?
Yeah, there's some tightening of a few things, there's no doubt about that. In terms of expectation, ours was high and it still remains high. In game, there's slips, there's lapses that we need to take care of and address. There's no doubt about that. But if you have a look at the season over the duration or over the course, you look at Geelong, Melbourne, Fremantle, Richmond, you look at all those games, Brisbane, even late in all of those games, we were a very, very good chance of winning all of those, and that's where the real competition sits right now. So, we haven't got to the highest of highs in terms of our levels and expectations, but we've been around the mark.
So does it make you reflect on the squad and what you may be lacking?
I think we're always reflecting on the squad. I think that's what we do as full-time employees, is we don't get to shy away from addressing or assessing what it is that we have at our disposal or what we're doing in terms of our growth with what we've got. So I don't think that gets on the radar any more this week than it has any other.
Has it revealed anything?
Revealed anything? As I said, it's ongoing, so it hasn't really thrown up anything other than we're a little bit short of the good teams right now. And I think that's not just playing personnel, I think that's system at times, I think it's concentration, intensity, it's across the board. So our results speak to that.
So at what point do you look more than just this week and say there's an opportunity to use the 4 weeks for something else, for something into the future?
Yeah, I think we're always looking at what we can use the next 4 weeks, whether it be 6 weeks, a couple of weeks ago, or where we sit right now. We're always looking to get as much as we can out of what's coming up or what's beyond, whether that's the players that are in our lineup or maximising the talents in there every week. So we don't get that luxury to go away or to veer away from any of that any other week. So no, this won't change.
Is it almost more frustrating in a way, all those close losses that you said, to end up where you are on the ladder now, than you could have ended up in this sort of spot if you'd been a worse team but had a few surprise wins along the way? Yeah,
definitely to a point. The frustration comes knowing that we're good enough and that lapses or slips, as I said before, have cost us in those bigger games. And to be honest, we dropped maybe 2 to 3 games that were just unacceptable, and then we haven't been able to, as I spoke to a few weeks ago, we haven't been able to jag one against one of those top teams, to get back on track. So, yeah, there's some frustration around that for sure. But at the end of the day, we haven't hit expectation.
What did the Sanford game give you on Saturday night? Did it give you any more
what a game!
Understanding what you can pick this week?
Yeah. I mean, it opened up some options. What it did is it showed us that there were 16 or 17 AFL listed players in a team that we haven't had for quite some time. There's some guys that are now healthy or healthier than they've been, and they will become options for us in the last month for sure. Whether it's this week, and there's a couple of guys in particular that was their first game back in a while. So it was just good to see the depth of squad running around again.
So could Fantasia play this week, AFL?
I think in terms of belief and what he brings, there was some excitement around what throwing him straight in there might do for our team. As it turned out, I don't think so. I think he was definitely short of that AFL gallop, and I think at times us reaching for the result we're ultimately searching for can sometimes cloud our judgment around what that guy can deliver of playing no footy. So.
If he was short last week, does having a week under the belt, does it make up that gap to get him back this week?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, we'll sit down and review his performance as we always do and see where it fits against the guys that are in the team. There's some urgency to get him in the team because we love what he can do. So we'll push all those boundaries to make sure that if he is ready and he has got a level that can perform, we'll take full advantage of that. But if he's not, we can't do that at the expense of the rest of the team.
Where are the ruck options beneath in the Sanford at the moment?
Where do they sit right now? I think our rucks have been between Charlie, Jeremy, and Sam. I think have been outstanding. I think what we've done is we've challenged the competition in a way of ruck play and outnumber and ground level hunt that maybe we were off circumstance we would not have found. So our ruck stocks, Sam Hayes took a really big step on Saturday night. It's nice to see Bryn get back into the team off what was a pretty short turnaround with that collarbone. So, and we just love what Visentini's been doing as a development player. So yeah, the stocks are good. We just needed to decide on combination.
Hey Monty, talk on Ken's future in the past has always been water off a duck's back for Ken himself, but I guess it just ramps up now with the expectations that you talk about haven't been met. Talkback radio's lit up this morning. There's a sign out here on Port Road, sack Ken Hinkley. How do you expect him to handle this over the next month?
I think knowing Ken well, water off a duck's back is how you've put it. I think he feels the expectation. He sets the expectation. So I don't think he'll be any stranger to that. I think what we know about our supporter base is their passion levels are a little higher than most. Now, whether that's real or not, that's how we feel it. I think that's a good thing. That passion, if that's boiled over to what was it, a sign on Port Road? I mean, again, that's just passion that our people have. So he'll push on. He's got belief in the group. I think the group's got belief in him. Again, I've talked to the games that we've been in all the way through. There's some good teams. There's some really good teams, and I think we're still one of those, but we haven't been able to get the job done.
Kane Corns yesterday was saying how brilliant he's been here in terms of rebuilding this club from the bottom. If North Melbourne are looking for that rebuild coach, he said that they'd be the perfect fit for Ken. Would you be surprised? I guess you wouldn't be surprised if North Melbourne open up the conversation.
Yeah, I hadn't read that. I hadn't heard that. So, there's clubs out there looking for new coaches, and to look at a rebuild that's been as successful as this over 10 years, I think all clubs would be silly to not acknowledge what's been done here over a period of time.
Would you be shocked if Ken Hinkley wasn't coaching here next year?
Yeah, I would be shocked. Yeah, he has a contract. Again, like I said, it's a very good list. It's a good team. It hasn't hit the absolute highs of expectation this year.
What can that sort of vitriol, I suppose, do to not just Ken, but to players, to admin staff, to assistant coaches? You know, you drive to work in the morning and you see a sign that says sack Ken Hinkley or whatever. What can that do to a place, and how do you combat any negative effects of that sort of passion, as you put it?
Yeah, look, it's hard. I think one thing we have been here is we've been united, and there's also been a huge amount of belief. So, again, I still see a group that, even under some pretty trying circumstances after the start of the season, they still come to work looking to improve every day, and I honestly don't see that changing. We've got an important 4 games. We've got some tough opponents in there that probably don't give us an opportunity to do anything other than prepare at our absolute best.
The players have, every time they're asked about Ken, they're all glowing about him, more so than any other coach who may be under pressure around the league that I can recall. Everyone in Port Adelaide seems to love Ken and the way he goes about it. Can you put your finger on why he has had such an effect on the group that they will vehemently defend him every time they're asked about it?
Yeah, I think one thing players are, why they get to this level is they're all competitive beasts, and to be able to get this group to prelims, to get this group highly competitive, to get it playing a brand of footy that's at the highest level, I think that's all they look for, and that's been delivered on. There's been no doubt about that.